Chapter 41, The Tiger of Elm Street, Part 2. Did we have a Part 1? You'll have to refresh my memory. I don't remember. All he had to say was 2 words. Just 2 words. Thank you. Valencia Somerset had pulled him out of a well, and he didn't even thank her. He hadn't said a single word, not even hello. How hard was it to open your mouth and talk? Why did he have to be so Virgil-like? Hello, Valencia, he mumbled to himself as he made his way down Elm Street with Sacred, who walked right alongside him as if they were connected by an invisible leash. Thank you. You practically saved my life. I owe you one. His body ached. Hunger pains seared through his empty stomach. His head throbbed like it had its own heartbeat. He was scuffed and dirty. He could have died, but he could have at least said thank you. He could have at least said hello. Gosh, haven't you ever had a moment when you could have done something, you could have said something and you didn't, and then later you're kicking yourself wondering why you didn't do it? That's what he's experiencing right now. Major kicking himself. Sacred's paws click-clacked against the sidewalk. Virgil was acutely aware, as always, that he was fast approaching the Bullens' house, but he was too exhausted to care. Being face-to-face with death made Chet seem so ordinary, boring even. Virgil wasn't for sure if fate was testing him or if it was just your usual Saturday evening luck. There's some foreshadowing. But the bull was outside as they approached. He was sitting in the middle of the driveway with a basketball in his lap, staring up at the hoop like it was a million miles away. Hey, retardo, said Chet when he saw him. And then he saw Sacred and scooted back a little. Wonder why he did that. Virgil didn't put his head down like he normally did. He didn't shuffle past and hold his breath until he was safely out of harm's way. He was too tired, too fed up, too everything. Today was not the day to mess with Virgil Salinas. Well, not anymore. Virgil made direct eye contact with Chet, and before he even knew what he was doing, he stopped. Sacred stopped too. The bull pulled up his knees and wrapped his arms around the ball. His eyes darted from Sacred to Virgil. What are you looking at, retardo? Was that a tremor in his voice? Virgil's arms hung at his side. Sacred nudged his hand. Call me that again, and you'll regret it. The bull's uncertain smile faded. He cleared his throat. Whatever, he said. It doesn't take many words to turn your life around, Bayani. Lola was waiting outside when Virgil came up the walk. He was barely within hearing distance when she started. Hi, Naiki, I've been calling and typing to your phone. Where have you been? And what is that animal doing with you? And why didn't you answer? Now that he was closer, Lola could see the rumpled clothes, the unkempt hair, the sheen of sweat and fatigue, his puffy eyes, the dirt and rust on his hands from the ladder, and he must have had a certain look on his face, because after she assessed his clothes and hair, she fixed on his expression. Virgilio, she said quietly, what happened to you today? I got eaten like the stone boy. But my friends chiseled me out, he said. His voice was tired and weary. He walked past Lola and opened the front door. She followed him inside without any more questions, and so did Sacred. His parents and brothers were in the living room, but they didn't seem overly concerned with Virgil. They were watching television, something funny, of course, and filling the room with their laughter. His parents were on the couch with their backs to him, and his twin brothers were in recliners on either side. His mother turned at the sound of the door. When she saw Sacred, she stood up and waved madly. Get that dog out of here, Turtle! He'll mess up the rug. The others turned then too. A dog will be good for the house, Lola said. Keep away the robbers. She exchanged a knowing look with Virgil. His father said, "Sit down and watch television with us." He turned back to the TV, apparently unmoved by the presence of such a large, strange dog. Julius and Joselito half stood from their seats to get a good look at Sacred. "What kind of dog is that?" Julius asked. "Where did you get him?" asked Joselito. "I don't know. He followed me home," Virgil said. At that moment, Virgil realized how bright his house was. Even its smells were comforting. He hadn't noticed that before. And the air, the cool air, felt plush on his skin. His mother had made her way around the couch and was shooing Sacred. The dog took 2 steps toward the door and then 2 steps back to Virgil, confused by Mrs. Selena's frantic movements. "Turtle! He's dirty and he stinks!" Lola put her hand on Sacred's head and the dog stood still. "He just needs a bath," said Lola. "Virgil will give him a bath, won't you, Virgilio?" She lifted her chin and gave him a look. It was a look that said, "I understand." "Understand what, though?" "You are not the same, Virgilio. That's what she understands. Open your eyes, Bayani." Virgil blinked. He put his hand on Sacred's head right next to Lola's. "I wish you wouldn't call me Turtle," he said to his mother. "You can call me Virgil or Virgilio or Bayani, but don't call me Turtle." She stopped her panicked movements and stared at him. He had never seen this look before. He didn't recognize it. Anger, sadness, shock. "She's seeing you for the first time, Bayani. That's all." She kissed her index finger and pressed it to his forehead. "Okay, Virgilio," she said. I love that he stood up to his mom, but in a very nice and respectful way. I really like that.